55% of executives surveyed do not take cybersecurity into account when identifying the critical components of their business strategy. This according to a 2019 survey that was published by Ernest Young. This all came at the same time when the Harvard Business Review was identifying that cybersecurity is every executive's job. It has moved well beyond the purview of a chief information and security officer to every executive within the organization. Now, the same study that Ernst & Young published, they also identified that only 1 out of 10 organizations report that their cybersecurity infrastructure is sufficient in order to meet their current needs. Makes you wonder about how it will help meet their future needs. Well, as I was understanding this survey a little bit more and delving into my appreciation for how critical cybersecurity is to a leader and to leadership, it was evident to me that based on some studies I was undertaking back in November of 2019, that cybersecurity, the discipline in of itself, is one of the most important aspects for a leader to learn and to become accustomed to and aware of. Now, why is that? Well, with the ever increase of cybersecurity threats and the impact to brand, to reputation, to revenue, to privacy, to data protection, to consumer awareness and consumer satisfaction, and ultimately consumer appreciation, it's clear that cybersecurity threats impact whether it's consumer, enterprise, regulatory, and government. And for a leader to not emphasize and focus in on cybersecurity, you ultimately lose or are losing a key and critical component of a complete business understanding and appreciation for what threats exist, as well as the opportunities that exist as you manage and direct and guide your company accordingly, both with the fiduciary responsibility, but as well as with a responsibility to your shareholders and a responsibility to your owners. Now, let's fast forward a little bit in terms of making the relative importance of cybersecurity to your business. One of the things I was just reading and reflecting upon recently was a Wired magazine expose, quite frankly, of the Jeep Cherokee. I don't know if you actually saw this as well. I'll post a link to the video down below. You can take a look at it. Well, effectively, there were 2 to 3 hackers involved in this process, and they identified that they actually could take full control of the Jeep Cherokee while it was on the road. And not only did this shock me, it was just unbelievable to see the kind of impact that these individuals could have on the vehicle. But you put things into context now, and ultimately, we've got a smartphone on wheels, and it's very clear that the importance of ensuring that that smartphone on wheels, that vehicle that we're in, is safe and secure. And I'd venture to say now, as a leader, you need to recognize that back in the 1980s, maybe in the 1970s, the Michelin tire was all about safety, all about that aspect of the vehicle. And you sort of move forward and you recognize as well that Volvo was so good at positioning themselves as a safe and reliable vehicle, that one of the most reliable and protective vehicles for your family in the event of an accident, as an example. But now more and more, not only for automotive sector, automotive manufacturers, it's being able to demonstrate that you take security and privacy and protection as being a critical component of your business strategy. I bet today and tomorrow that as we delve further and Ernst & Young conducts even more surveys in terms of how important cybersecurity is to an organization, you will no longer find that 55% of executives identify that they don't take cybersecurity into account as part of their overall business strategy. Well, I'd love to hear from you on this very important and critical item to overall business strategy. What's been your experience in identifying how important cybersecurity is to your organization and to the future of your organization? For you as a leader, how are you learning and how are you adapting your skills and capabilities to the point where you better understand the implications of this discipline that is cybersecurity? Like, comment, and share below. Thanks again for watching.